This episode of Test Drive is brought to you by Elmec and their eAWD Smart Home Charger.
I seem to usually get stuck with a Volvo right at the end of the model years. Last year we did a 2019 right at the end of the year, and the 2020s were already out, though we were having some shipment delays, more or less, when it came to the T8 plug-in hybrid version of the XC90. So while we couldn't get our hands on the 2020 at the time, still wasn't the hottest thing on the market. Same, I guess, is true for this because the 2021s have already been announced, but luckily there really isn't any change for the Canadian market for the 2021 XC90. Our spotlight is on this 2020 Volvo XC90 T8 R-Design. Now, what's new for 2020? Did receive a teeny tiny facelift. Essentially, the front grills have been updated slightly, and the lower front fascia has been updated by a little bit. I mean, you really have to be a Volvo enthusiast to be able to tell the difference between it. If you parked a 2019 and a 2020 next to each other, you'd tell that there was a small difference, but good luck figuring out which year is which. So anyway, while the exterior might not be any different and the interior is pretty much the same thing with some slightly different seating configurations depending on your market, what's important about it? The battery for this T8 is what's new. We went from a 10.4 kilowatt hour battery up about 12% to this 11.6 kilowatt hour battery. So you should be able to get about 3 or 4 extra kilometers out of this vehicle. Depending on your driving habits and where you're driving, your mileage will vary, but we will go over our fuel economy testing results when we take it on a road test. Aside from that though, this vehicle is configured in the $900 Thunder Gray paint. I think it looks great. Gray right now is so hot. Silver, that was 20 years ago. Gray though, whoo boy, looks absolutely fantastic. We've done a number of Volvos before, so we're not going to go into super detail when it comes to what the XC90 has to offer. I recommend taking a look at any of the videos we've done either on the XC90 specifically or the other Volvo vehicles to get the full info when it comes to the safety tech and everything else that goes on with these vehicles. Today we're just talking about what's different to keep timing short, which is why we need to go take it for a road test. There is not much different about this except for how that battery operates. So let's get behind the wheel, talk about that and everything else that this has for 2020 if you're in the market for this $94,000 mid-size luxury crossover. Don't wait around all day to charge up your 2020 Volvo XC90. Get the most out of it with the eAWD Smart Home Charger. You can charge your vehicle in about 2.5 hours instead of half a day. Find out more information about the entire suite of eAWD Level 2 chargers by visiting elmec.ca. First thing to discuss is fuel economy when it comes to the XC90. Last year we drove it at the end of November. I did my test loop on the 25th of November. We published the video a little bit after, but that car in the cold didn't do very well. We got 16 kilometers fully electric with that and it averaged 7.6 liters per 100 kilometers. Now we're driving this kind of at the end of summer right now. The temperatures have been quite a bit cooler than they were maybe like a week ago. So right now it's about 18 degrees. Yesterday was about 20 when we did the test loop. I was able to do 34 kilometers fully electric before the gas system kicked in. And we also averaged 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers. So quite a bit better than we did with the 2019. Now, again, some of it is because we do have 12% larger battery. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it ends up being the weather and driving conditions that ultimately made this more fuel efficient and getting us better range, because the batteries are affected by the climate. So worked out better this time around. So it's a plus there. I mean, the price for this, $94,000 as configured, quite a bit. We do have some options on here that you don't necessarily need. $1,000 for the carbon fiber interior trim on here. It's a nice thing to have. It's not necessarily needed. Over $1,400 for the 22-inch rims over the 20-inch rims that would come on this by default. $350 for the center booster seat. And it's something that I can't test out. My kid is too big now, but it's really nice to finally be able to see it in action because it's always been an option on these vehicles that we've tested from Volvo. They just never selected it, so that's on there. And yeah, I mean, you've got the Premium Plus and Premium packages. You have to have the Premium package plus the Premium Plus package to get it. That adds things like the 360 camera, heated outboard rear seats, heated wiper blades, and other goodies like that. I mean, that's a lot of money. You're adding it all up. Yeah, you're looking at almost $100,000 for this. That's kind of the ballpark when you look at the Mercedes GLE hybrid and the BMW X5 hybrid. So you get what you pay for. Now, I like the Volvos. The ride is smooth. It's quiet on the inside here. It's simple. We've talked about that before. Infotainment system here feels a little snappier. Finally, in 2020, I'm still not 100% sold on it, but during the time I've been driving it, I haven't had any issues, which is a nice plus. Always seems to be a small complaint for us. Everything else works really well on this vehicle. That's why I like driving the XC90. Yeah, it's not fully loaded. You're not getting every single feature you could, but you're getting the ones that you really need. And honestly, man, it's really smooth in here. I like it. The extra range, nice plus to have. Everything else that you liked about the 2019 or 2018 or whatever, you're going to like about this. Yeah, they've changed the grille a little bit. The Volvo badge on the front has been updated slightly. But for the most part, it's still that same XC90 that works so well with a slight boost in battery capacity. But I am always asked why you would consider this Volvo over the BMW or the Mercedes. It's not like the buying process is any easier with this vehicle. I mean, you still have different options, different paints, so you got to configure it the way that you want, just like the German luxury cars. But you get the safety. I mean, you do have IntelliSafe as standard on this. You have to add the blind spot monitoring as a package, but everything else is included, and we've gone over all the safety tech that comes on Volvo's vehicles. So you're getting a lot of it, and this is a 2020 model year. Volvo has committed to saying that they will not have anybody die or be seriously injured in any 2020 model year vehicles. Now, I'm not going to go test that. I'm not going to drive this car into a tree just to see if I'll walk away with it unscathed. But I'll take their word for it that they have committed to making safety their priority. You can look at BMW, they go for performance. Mercedes, ultimate luxury. Volvo, it's safety. That's their niche. I mean, everybody's safe, but they really take it to another level. And again, we've talked about it before. I feel absolutely secure in this vehicle, and I know when I put my child in here, she's safe too. There's no worries. My takeaway from this, I always tell you a little bit behind the scenes here. I have this vehicle booked with another. I was planning on really just picking this one up quickly to film what I needed to with it, but I'm keeping it a lot longer than I had originally planned, just because first of all, I love the color on this. Thunder Gray looks incredible, but also it is such a good ride. Everything about this is so nice that even though I've driven two other XC90s before, I'm still enjoying this one. And I guarantee you, if you're going to be buying one of these two, you'll be enjoying it as well. It's a nice car. Pricey, but you get what you pay for, and it's worth it.